Have you ever wondered what the real secrets of the world's most successful people are? Not the stuff you read in magazines, but their real deal. Well, today, we're going to crack open their playbook. We're breaking down insights from a creator who sat down with over 30 billionaires, including people you definitely recognize from Shark Tank and the founders of some massive global companies.
So let's just dive right in. We're going to forget all the generic, cliché advice you hear everywhere. We're digging deep for the practical, game-changing wisdom from people like LinkedIn's Reid Hoffman and Shark Tank's Robert Herjavec to find out what actually works.
To make sense of all of this, we've organized their wisdom into three really powerful, interconnected pillars. We're going to walk through each one, and then we'll wrap it all up with what might be the single most important takeaway of all. So let's start with the foundation. Okay, so this first pillar, it takes one of the most common pieces of business advice you've ever heard and just flips it completely on its head. You've heard it a million times, right? It's all about who you know. Well, Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank has a very different take on that. In fact, he calls that advice absolute bullshit. His point, networking is totally useless if you don't bring any real value to the table yourself. And that right there is such a crucial shift in thinking. Successful people are really selective about who they spend their time with. The key isn't to chase them down. It's to build your own value first. Create your brand, establish your credibility, and then the right connections will start coming to you. So this whole idea of building value, it really boils down to three key actions. First, you build your reputation. Second, you stay lean. I love this quote from one multimillionaire. Stay small enough, long enough, and you'll be big enough, soon enough. In other words, keep your expenses low so you can weather any storm. And third, hire people who are smarter than you are. That's a strategy taken straight from John D. Rockefeller's playbook. All right, let's move on to our second pillar, because you'll see how this all starts to connect. Once you've established your own value, the next step is to completely change your strategic timeline. Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, he sold his company for a staggering $26 billion. So what was his secret? He says he doesn't play the one-year game. He plays the 10-year game. See, while everyone else is scrambling and fighting for these tiny short-term wins, billionaires are thinking about how small efforts can compound and grow exponentially over a decade. It's kind of like planting an oak tree instead of a flower. Sure, it takes longer, but the payoff is infinitely bigger. And this quote, man, it just perfectly captures a powerful truth. Think about it. It takes just as much energy and stress to tackle a massive problem as it does a small one. But here's the kicker. There is way, way less competition at the top. Now, to play this long game, you have got to master marketing. And the ultimate goal, according to one of the richest men in Dubai, is this idea of omnipresence. It means becoming so well known in your specific niche that your target audience literally can't help but know who you are. That's how you win the 10-year game. Okay, and that brings us to our third and final pillar. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. We're moving away from external strategy and into the internal mindset that fuels every single action you take. It all starts with a deep, unshakable belief in yourself. There's this amazing metaphor from a corporate executive named Billy Ray Taylor that just nails this idea. Seriously, think about that for a second. The branch could snap at any moment. But the bird isn't worried, is it? It's not scared. Why? Because it trusts its own wings to carry it to safety. That is the kind of radical self-reliance you have to cultivate, a belief in your own abilities that doesn't depend on anyone or anything else. Okay, so this all leads us to what might be the single most perspective-shifting piece of advice in the entire playbook. It's this powerful visualization exercise that I guarantee will change the way you think about your time. So, imagine this. A 57-year-old man holds up this long ribbon of paper, and he explains that it represents his entire potential lifespan from the day he was born all the way to age 100. The first thing he does? He tears off the end of the ribbon from age 75 to 100, acknowledging that, statistically, he'll probably never see those years. And then he rips off this huge piece representing the 57 years he's already lived. That time, he explains, it's gone. Forever. There is no getting it back. He holds up this tiny, precious little scrap that's left, and he delivers this incredibly powerful message. This is it. This is all the time he has left. It's finite. It's real. So the advice here is simple, but wow, is it profound. Treat every single day with the urgency and the gratitude it deserves.
because tomorrow is never guaranteed. You have to live each day as if it were a whole life in miniature.
Okay, so after hearing all of that, what does this actually mean for you, right? How do we take this billionaire playbook and put it into action in our own lives? Let's bring these three pillars together into one clear, actionable framework. It's really a three-step process. Step 1, focus inward. Build your value and become the person that other people want to connect with. Step 2, change your timeline. Stop playing the crowded one-year game and start playing the 10-year game. And step 3, master your mind. You got to cultivate that radical self-belief and a deep, profound sense of urgency. And look, this isn't just some theory, right? The person who shared all these insights is actually putting them into practice. He's building his value, that's pillar 1, by creating a community. He's playing the long game, pillar 2, by teaching others. And he's embodying the mindset, pillar 3, of service and growth. And that brings us right back to that incredibly powerful image of the ribbon. We all have one, and a piece of it is already gone forever. So with the time you have left, when you really think about it, there's only one question that truly matters. How are you going to use the rest of your ribbon?